Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, please consider subscribing and clicking on the bell for notifications. This is the channel to learn about literature and life. So I already have a longer video on this channel about stream of consciousness writing, but it was made for my students, and I go into great detail about all of the research about expressive writing and the connections between writing and psychology and writing for therapy, and it's really long. And so this video, which I'm going to keep to just 7 or 8 minutes long, is just going to be an extremely condensed version of that with just one goal only, and that is to explain how to do stream of consciousness writing on your own immediately. So we're going to be looking at Natalie Goldberg, who is the queen of journaling. I've got several videos in which I talk about her, and this is her very short essay called First Thoughts, and it's the single best, it's just perfect for learning how to do stream of consciousness journal writing. So it's about the second, I think, essay in her famous book, Writing Down the Bones. Now, I'm not going to read all of it. I'm just going to go through the most important parts. And then if you want to, you can also, you can see this entire essay, which is only 3 or 4 pages long. Since it's at the beginning of her book, Writing Down the Bones, you can just get on Google and just Google, Writing Down the Bones by Natalie Goldberg. And then you can look at the Google Books, which pops up for free. Or you can look at Amazon, and you can, of course, read a sample of an Amazon book for free, just like the first 15 or 20 pages. So if you want to see all of this, you can do either of those things, but you don't need to. All you need to do is just pay attention to what I'm doing, have a journal, and then I'm going to give you a writing prompt at the end. So the basic unit of writing practice is the timed exercise. You may time yourself for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, or an hour. It's up to you. At the beginning, you may want to start small, and after a week, increase your time, or you may want to dive in for an hour the first time. It doesn't matter. What does matter is that whatever amount of time you choose for that session, you must commit yourself fully to it and for that full period. Now, I would suggest that the first time that you do it for 10 minutes. Do a 10-minute stream of consciousness writing exercise. That's what I do with all of my college students in all of my classes, from freshmen to seniors. And we do it within the first 2 weeks of school. So here are the rules for stream of consciousness writing. Number 1, keep your hand moving. That's the most important part. Don't pause to reread the line that you've just written. That's stalling, trying to get control. Number 2, don't cross out. That's editing. So don't cross out. You just keep your hand moving. You don't cross out. Number 3, don't worry about spelling, punctuation, or grammar. Don't even care about staying within the margins and lines on the page. That's never been an issue that any of my students or that I've ever done. So now she's got 2 more: lose control, don't think, don't get logical, go for the jugular. The first 3 are the only things that you really have to follow, because those are the physical rules. And then number 4, 5, and 6, those are what I would call the emotional rules, which are as important. But really, as long as you do 1, 2, and 3, then you're set. So these are the rules. It's important to adhere to them because the aim is to burn through to first thoughts, to the place where energy is unobstructed by social politeness or the internal censor, to the place where you are writing what your mind actually sees and feels, not what it thinks it should see or feel. It's a great opportunity to explore the oddities of your mind, explore the rugged edge of thought. Now, again, I'm not going to read all of this. I'm just going to skip through a little bit. And the idea being just all you need is this one short video right now and the rules in it, and then all you have to do is get a journal. And as Natalie Goldberg says in her previous essay in this book, Writing Down the Bones, the best thing to do for a journal is to get a cheap, inexpensive journal. Because if you get a fancy one at Barnes & Noble or some leather-bound journal or something like that, it costs a little bit more, and you'll think it has to be more important. Natalie Goldberg uses 99-cent notebooks that you just get, at the front of like a Walmart when they're doing, back to school sales in August. I like to require my students to get a black composition style notebook, which you can also get at Walmart. Down south here, we have Publix, but you can get them just usually in any large grocery store. So anyway, you have a journal. Okay, good. So moving along. the second paragraph on that page. First thoughts have tremendous energy. It is the way the mind first flashes on something. The internal censor usually squelches them. So we live in the realm of second and third thoughts, thoughts on thoughts, twice and three times removed from the direct connection of the first fresh flash. And then she gives a little example here about, it seems more like a line of poetry there. I'm going to skip through that to the next page. First thoughts are also unencumbered by ego, by that mechanism in us that tries to be in control, tries to prove the world is permanent and solid, enduring and logical. The world is not permanent, is ever-changing and full of human suffering. So if you express something egoless, it is also full of energy because it is expressing the truth of the way things are. I'm going to skip that middle paragraph. She talks about sitting Zen meditation. Let's skip down to the bottom and take off from there. The same is true in writing. You must be a great warrior when you contact first thoughts and write from them. Especially at the beginning, you may feel great emotion and energy that will sweep you away, but you don't stop writing. You continue to use your pen and record the details of your life and penetrate into the heart of them. Often in a beginning class, students break down crying when they read pieces they have written. That is okay. Often as they write, they cry too. Now, you may think that she's exaggerating or being dramatic there, but it's true. I've had students, not a lot at all, maybe like 1 out of every 200 or something like that. But still, I've had it happen several times in all the years I've been teaching, who, when they're writing stream of consciousness for the first time, I'll see them crying a little bit. Why? Because when you break through to your subconscious, which is what stream of consciousness writing does, you might, access something that you're kind of, that you're really upset about or that's been hurtful in the past or something like that. So it does happen. Then she continues. However, I encourage them to continue reading or writing right through the tears so they may come out the other side and not be thrown off by the emotion. Don't stop at the tears. Go through to truth. This is the discipline. Why else are first thoughts so energizing? Because they have to do with freshness and inspiration. Inspiration means breathing in God. You actually become larger than yourself, and first thoughts are present. They are not a cover-up of what is actually happening or being felt. The present is imbued with tremendous energy. It is what is. My friend who is a Buddhist said once after coming out of a meditation retreat, the colors were so much more vibrant afterward. Her meditation teacher said, when you are present, the world is truly alive. Okay, great. So I'm going to try to speed through this, and it's got the writing prompt at the end. So this is the second mini essay in Writing Down the Bones. It appears so close to the beginning because she lays down the rules, clear and simple rules for writing stream of consciousness. The first three are the most important. Number 1, keep your hand moving. The next two are what I would call subset explanations of the first. Number 2, don't cross out, don't edit at all. And number 3, don't worry about spelling, punctuation, or grammar. Personally, I've been using these exact same rules in my college English classes for over 20 years. Ever since my very first freshman writing class I taught at the University of Southern Mississippi as a teaching assistant in the fall semester of 2001. They are the rules for journal writing, which my students do in almost every class, in every course I teach, from 18-year-old kids who've only been in college a week to the occasional upper-level English class, where the students are often seniors about ready to graduate. What's crucial here is the simplicity of the first 3 rules. When your brain freezes up after 2 or 3 minutes, then keep your hand moving, right? I can't think of what to say. So, good. Now, I'm going to suggest you pause this video if you need to, and then come back to this at the end, and then I'll explain this writing prompt, and then you can just watch it and have your writing space prepared. Then it says at the bottom there, before you begin, turn notifications on your devices off and make them all silent. Then either set a timer on your phone or keep an old watch or clock next to you. So it works perfectly. Then you're going to write for 10-minute stream of consciousness, keeping your hand moving the whole time. So once you're ready, and again, what Natalie Goldberg suggests is buy a cheap notebook, just something that costs $1. You can get a a black cardboard style, old-fashioned composition style notebook. You can get one of those at a Walmart. They literally cost 96 cents. And the reason being that you want to get a cheap notebook or a cheap journal, if you're brand new to it, is because that way it all feels like the stakes are a little bit lower. And if you do that for yourself, you're less likely to procrastinate, less likely to not do this. So anyway, and then the last thing that I'm going to say before I give you the prompt, when you set your timer or you get ready to do this for 10 minutes, then when you keep your hand moving, don't cross out, don't worry about spelling, punctuation, or grammar. After 2 or 3 minutes of writing, your brain will kind of freeze up. And I tell my students this all the time. And so when your brain does freeze up and you want to stop writing, you cannot. You keep your hand moving. So what you want to do then is just, even if you can't think of what to say, you literally write, I can't think of what to say. And you write out, I can't think of what to say. If you write that 2 or even 3 times at the most, your brain will go off into some other direction. And it will probably be something simple like, oh, I can't wait to eat, or something like that. Or if you're a college student, I always joke on the first day, that they saw some attractive other student in some other class that they had, and that person is coming into their mind. And that's okay, because I never read journal entries. I require them to do it stream of consciousness. Okay, great. So again, you want to set your timer for 10 minutes, have yourself distraction free, and keep your hand moving the whole time, right, for 10 minutes. And when you kind of freeze up at some point, you just keep going, keep writing, and go, I can't think of what to say. You write, I can't think of what to say. Then literally after 1 or 2 of those, your brain will go off in some other direction. You'll write about something which happened, which is important to you. So wonderful. Okay, so the writing prompt for this entry is really simple. And I've done this before with my students whenever I tell them that they have to write stream of consciousness on their own outside of class after we've had class for a month or 2. And then I tell them this. So here's the prompt. Decide on something in your personal life right now that is either making you very mad at the world or something great which is going on in your life that you're looking forward to. So that's all you need, because that's where the energy is at in your psyche. And so you just think, okay, what am I really mad about? Or what am I really happy or excited or enthused about? And have that be your writing prompt. Awesome. So again, I've got a much longer video that's almost an hour long. That's called An Introduction to Stream of Consciousness Writing. And it uses a lot of the language from this essay in there. But I also talk even more in depth about how writing is therapy, how there's all kinds of academic research to show that journal writing improves and helps your mental health. So there's a link to that down below. But this is the only video you need, and I hope you enjoyed it. And thank you so much for stopping by my channel. Please consider liking, sharing, subscribing for more videos on literature and life.